Hello, my name's Gavin. This is Genre Books, and this is the 23rd of my bookshelf exploration excavations. I'm nearly at the end now. Very soon I will be sorting this mess behind me out. But to do that, let's see what was in cubicle number 23. Start with a book that I read for Victober and quite enjoyed. As far as books by British Prime Ministers go, I think Sybil by Benjamin Disraeli is up there. I did a whole video, or part of a video, on this one. So, yeah, I recommend. Another Penguin book, this time skipping forward in time, Guys and Dolls by Damon Runyon, a collection of 20 short stories. French science fiction, translated into the English and into Door Books. This is Starmasters Gambit by Gerard, Klein. From Ballantine and Pretty Good Nick for first time imprint, first edition collection, 1969, Larry Niven, The Shape of Space, a collection of short stories, and at least one of the stories looks like it's going to involve the puppeteer or the puppeteers from Ringworld. From a publisher I know very little about, Award Books, this 1973 paperback of Colin Kapp's The Wizard of Anharitte. A collection of 9 science fiction stories from Robert Silverberg, Earth's Other Shadow. And science fiction from Pyramid Books, this is Hunt Collins' Tomorrow and Tomorrow. What I think must be an early Greg Benford in Ace paperbacks, Deeper Than the Darkness. Science fantasy from the paperback library from 1968, C.C. MacApp, Omha Abides. Always a slight trepidation when it's fantasy comedy, but here is Alexis A. Gilliland, Lord of the Trollbats. From Pan Books in 1966, Up the Junction by Nell, Dunn. From Penguin Classics, Suetonius, The 12 Caesars, and this is translated by Robert Graves. More to come from Robert Graves this video. Next from Fontana Books, The Bridge on the River Kwai by Pierre Boulle. Now the only Boulle I have read so far has been Monkey Planet, aka Planet of the Apes, and that's quite a change in genre, so I'd be interested to see what this war story is like, how it holds up against the film, and how the book holds up against Monkey Planet, and maybe it's going to be down to the translator. A book I actually can't remember if I've read or not. This is Joseph Heller, Good as Gold. I think I might have to read it if I've not done so. Alternate history from Peter Ackroys. This is Milton in America. Some history now, and Hugh Thomas, World Without End, The Empire of Philip II. A Hodder and Stoughton Yellow Jacket Western, and it's a Zane Grey, the Hash Knife outfit. From the Gallant's Fantasy Masterwork series, it's the Anubis Gates from Tim Powers. I saw this on a market stall, and I'd heard Michael K. Vaughan go on enough about reading this or not having read this that I felt I had to have it. I think what happens now is I have to keep hold of it for another quarter of a century before I read it. Robert Graves promised, Robert Graves delivered, and this is a book and 7 Days in New Crete that, until I saw it in the bookshop, I had absolutely no conception he had written science fiction. Some Umberto Eco that I've not read, and this is a collection of his essays, Travels in Hyper-Reality, translated by William Weaver, who he is fantastic when he is translating Eco. So I will enjoy dipping into this. A collection of short stories now from the late 80s, from Ray Bradbury. This is the Toynbee Convector. Unfortunately, came with a bit of a mangled dust jacket at the top. I might see if I can iron that. A memoir from Samuel R. Delany. This is The Motion of Light in Water. Sex and Science Fiction Writing in the East Village, 1957 to 1965. From Panther Fiction, from 1973, a collection of short stories from John Sladek, The Steam-Driven Boy and Other Strangers. The first edition of The Masks of Time from Robert Silverberg. 2 books from the Women's Press Science Fiction, both by Jane Palmer. This is The Watcher, and this is The Planet Dweller. And I think, from memory, yes, both of them are signed. An Ace science fiction special from 1968. This is Bob Shaw, The Two Timers. From Monarch Books from 1961, J. Hunter Holly and The Green Planet. From 1960, from Ballantine, and again, original publication, The Man Who Ate the World from Frederick Pohl. And yes, as I was picking this one up, I just realised that this one was signed as well. From Dell Books in 1980, and I think probably trying to fill a gap left by Ace Doubles. These are Binary Stars. Well, this is Binary Star volume number 4. So 2 novels, short novels, novellas, this time by Joan D. Vinci and Stephen G. Spree. In Corgi, James White, Monsters and Medics. And I must just be with some books that were picked up from someone who liked to get stuff signed, because this is also signed by James White. This would be even better if my name was Toby. More Ballantine books, and another Ballantine original for Robert Silverberg, this time Son of Man. From Digit Books from 1960, The Interpreter by Brian Aldiss. And a Ballantine stroke Del Rey Larry Niven collection, Limits. And yet more Larry Niven in Ballantine, Tales of Known Space, so a collection of 13 stories. From Ace Books, Alexis Panshin, The Third Revolution. From Avon Science Fiction from 1971, Ground Zero Man by Bob Shaw. Fred Saberhagen, Love Conquers All. A collection of short stories from 1968, although some of the stories are going back to the mid-40s, William Tenn and the Seven Sexes. From Laser Books, J.T. McIntosh and Ruler of the World. Also from J.T. McIntosh, but this time back in Avon, we have Flight from Rebirth. From Regency Books, from 1963, a collection of Caldwainer Smith stories, You Will Never Be the Same. In Signet Books from 1972, Robert Silverberg again, and The Book of Skulls. And in Panther, a collection of short stories from J.G. Ballard, The Overloaded Man. Skipping forward to the 1980s, and Arsène Darnay and The Purgatory Zone. From Damon Knight, A Reasonable World. From A.E. Van Vogt, The Weapon Shops of Isha. From Panther, and I was wondering where this book was, because I've got the other 2 in this trilogy. And I've been waiting to get all 3. Now that I have them, I'm running out of excuses to read them. This is Nova Express from William S. Burroughs. Well, there's no S there today. I think, frustratingly, I have 2 copies of this book, and I have to find the other one and make a comparison now, because this is a pretty good nick copy of the 80-minute hour from Brian Aldiss. In less good condition, but you can't have everything, it's The Chalk Giants from Keith Roberts. More J.T. McIntosh, and this time from Pyramid Books and The Million Cities. And more Robert Silverberg and his take on overpopulation. This is The World Inside. A book I hope to have read by the time this video comes out, Philip Jose Farmer, The Fabulous Riverboat, sequel to Their Scattered Bodies Go. From 1972, The Stars Came Down from Richard Saxon. From Digit Books and horror sci-fi, Night of the Death Train by Luan Ranzetta. A sci-fi anthology, one of the premier series of sci-fi anthologies. This is Dangerous Visions 3, edited and introduced by Harlan Ellison. 2 from Lawrence James in his Simon Rack series. This is Earth Lies Sleeping and Starcross. From Jack Williamson in Pyramid Books, The Legion of Space. I think I found a little pack of books I was holding over for Garb August. Harold King, The Taskmaster. James Hadley Chase, Why Pick on Me? And Katrina from Robert Kirkbride. Also, maybe for Garb August, maybe for June on the Range, a stack of Edges from George G. Gilman. I don't have all of them. I've got a few gaps here. But these are all from the New English Library. We have number 7, California Killing. Number 8, 7 Out of Hell. Number 9, Bloody Summer. Number 10, Vengeance is Black. Number 11, Sioux Uprising. Number 14, The Big Gold. Number 17, Vengeance Valley. Number 22, Slaughter Road. Number 25, Violence Trail. Number 30, Waiting for a Train. Doesn't sound like the most exciting book in the series. And number 36, Town on Trial. Innocent Men by Peter Howard. The Guns of Terror 10 by Don Pendleton. Beyond the 13th Sun by Mark Walden. Dennis Wheatley and Gateway to Hell. Ghost Gun by Tom West. An ace science fiction classic, Ray Cummings' Tamer, Princess of Mercury. The Yellow Snake from Edgar Wallace. Tomorrow's Gift in Digit Books from Edmund Cooper. A non-fiction adventure book about diving in the Red Sea. This is Under the Red Sea by Hans Haas. More laser books. This is The Eclogue by R. Faraday Nelson. A Clutch of Westerns now. Sodbusters Saga by Clinton Wayne. Savage Breed by Joseph Chadwick. J.T. Edson, The Fastest Gun in Texas. And a bunch of Louis L'Amour's. In the Sackett series we have The Daybreakers and Ride the River and just Sackett. The Lonely Men. And last of the Sackett ones I've got, I think, Galloway. But not last of the Louis L'Amour that I've got. I've also got The Quick and the Dead, Son of a Wanted Man, Mojave Crossing, and Lando. However, it does look like Lando is another Sackett book. And finally, this week, 3 more science fiction books. I think this is first edition in Ace of The Game Players of Titan by Philip K. Dick. The Sun Grows Cold from Howard Burke. And in Avon Science Fiction, Creatures of Light and Darkness from Roger Zelazny. that seemed like a longer video. I think there were just lots of shorter books today, so I was able to fit more into the cubicle. That's not the case for next week, and the final cube of books I'll be going through. But until next time, bye.